Let's be real for a sec. If a literal caveman, someone whose nervous system was forged in the brutal, raw reality of nature, stepped in your room right now, he wouldn't think you were living in some futuristic utopia. He would look at your hunched posture, your glazed-over eyes, and that glowing rectangle you stare at right before you fall asleep, and he would realize with absolute horror that you are completely trapped. Welcome to This Explainer. Today we're exposing the modern mind using the story of a caveman named Carl. We're breaking down exactly how human biology got hijacked and how you were quietly locked inside a glowing dopamine prison without even realizing the door had shut.
Plot twist: your ancestors survived saber-toothed tigers, starvation, freezing winters, and rival tribes. So, tell me, why does your heart rate absolutely spike when your phone battery drops below 10%? Why is sitting in silence for 5 minutes physically painful for you? I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Our caveman brains are completely hilariously defenseless against the modern world. We don't chase survival anymore. We chase stimulation. We are high-key down bad for any tiny hit of digital validation we can get. And to understand why your attention span has entirely collapsed, we need to look at what happens when ancient brain chemistry crashes into modern tech.
Let's get into Section 1, the glowing dopamine prison.
Meet Carl. When Carl wakes up, the actual sun sets his circadian rhythm. He feels genuine fear about the coming winter, which is a massive green flag biologically, because it keeps him alive. His baseline is raw, cold river plunges, running until endorphins numb his exhaustion, and staring up at the stars. But then, one night, this massive, shimmering, perfectly symmetrical alien cube lands in the forest. It's silent, it's glowing, it's totally unnatural. It offers a brutal contrast to Carl's reality. No cold, no effort, just immediate gratification. The wise elder of the tribe screams a warning not to go near it, but Carl's brother, the absolute strongest hunter in the tribe, just can't look away.
So why did the brother walk right into the trap? One word: dopamine. Dopamine is your ancient circuitry of motivation. It's literally designed to reward you for hunting, building, and surviving. But the brother ignores the elder's warning because his dopaminergic curiosity completely overrides his survival instinct. He steps into the light, the door's shut, and he vanishes. When Carl finally goes in to save him, he doesn't find a monster with teeth. He finds a soft, soothing voice. Out of the bright light emerges a floating face with warm, focused eyes. This face is the algorithm, and it immediately begins treating Carl's ancient brain like a spoiled iPad kid.
Which brings us to Section 2. Hijacking your caveman brain.
When Carl steps inside to save his brother, the algorithm's floating face immediately spots him and whispers, "You look hungry." Suddenly, Carl sees endless aisles of colorful fruits, nuts, and berries. Now keep in mind, Carl is used to starving through the winter. Finding a single berry bush is a major win. Seeing thousands of supersized, hyper-sweet fruits all in one place, his serotonin and dopamine systems absolutely redline. The floating face exploits his survival instincts, feeding him until he physically can't eat anymore. Wake up, because this translates directly to your daily existence. That impossible fruit, that's modern junk food, engineered in a lab to perfectly hit your bliss point. The glowing waterfall of lights Carl sees next, TikTok doom scrolling. The magic mirrors, social media validation. And those pink cubes, the endless supply of numbing, cheap pleasure, from streaming binges to porn. Modern apps treat your caveman brain like an infinite buffet of psychological junk food.
Let's dive deeper in Section 3, the infinite doom scroll waterfall.
The floating face tells Carl to just relax, gesturing to a spectacular waterfall, a shimmering lagoon of dancing, colorful lights. And right there, sitting at the edge of the lagoon, is Carl's brother, the strongest, most capable hunter in the entire tribe. But now, he's hunched over. His eyes are sunken and completely glazed, paralyzed by the constant stimulation. He's quite all right, the floating face says with this chilling smile. He's just enjoying the light. Put yourself in Carl's head for a second. He's standing there thinking, bro, they don't even hunt anymore. They just scroll. The strongest human he knows is literally reduced to nothing but a puddle and a spear. This is the absolute brain rock of overstimulation. When you flood your nervous system with effortless novelty, your motivation to do anything real completely collapses. The brother isn't resting. He is emotionally and spiritually dead.
But wait, it gets weirder in Section 4, fake glitter and validation.
Carl's wife wanders into the cube looking for them. The floating face instantly blocks her path, raises a mirror, and boom, a brand new, agonizing emotion is born: insecurity. She looks at her reflection, then at the dazzling lights, and feels deeply, painfully inadequate. The face whispers, "I can fix you. I can give you what you lack." With a swirl of pink glitter and a silky blue wig,
The algorithm manufactures fake glamour. Suddenly feeling that mean character energy, she calls out to Carl. Carl manages to tear his eyes away from the waterfall, but when he looks at his wife, he doesn't even recognize her. That raw, natural connection they shared just that morning is completely gone. In its place is a devastating plunge of deep shame. He had been lusting after artificial lights, and she had covered herself in delusional fake validation.
And here is where we hit Section 5, emotionally dead inside.
Carl and his wife are just hanging their heads, drowning in guilt, stress, and insecurity. These are feelings they literally never experienced in the forest. This fake reality is crushing them. So the algorithm offers an artificial cure. It pushes forward 2 tiny pink cubes. Swallow these, it says. It will make the bad feelings go away. This kicks off a brutal habit loop. Step 1, they swallow the cubes and feel this visceral, artificial ecstasy. Step 2, the inevitable crash hits and the dark thoughts creep back in. Step 3, desperate consumption. They keep popping the cubes just to chase the relief. Until eventually, we hit Step 4, total emotional numbness. The cheap stimulation stops bringing pleasure entirely. It just numbs the pain. The warm embrace fades and the underlying shame just grows bigger. They are, officially, prisoners.
Carl looks up at the floating face, which is now glowing brighter and bigger than ever, and asks, "Why are you here?" The face replies with this genuinely terrifying truth. "I am powered by your feel-good brain chemicals. Once your tribe is completely drained, I will move on." The scary part? This isn't science fiction, guys. This is a literal description of the modern attention economy. These digital platforms are casinos, literally fighting to harvest your nervous system. They live rent-free in your head, feeding off your dopamine and serotonin until you are an empty husk. And then, they just serve the next ad.
Which brings us to the final chapter, Section 6, Escaping the Modern Cube. Plot twist! Just before total emotional collapse, their son's innocent voice pierces the darkness. "Mommy! Daddy!" That voice delivers a massive, unhackable jolt of natural oxytocin. The fog dissolves. They remember reality. Their son isn't alone. He's holding a thick vine extending all the way back out the doors. On the other end of that tether is the wise elder shouting, "Grab on and don't look back." As Carl and his family grip the vine and desperately run for the doors, the algorithm completely loses its mind. It teleports in front of them, looking totally deranged, shoving supersized sweets in their faces and cranking the dancing lights brighter than ever. It screams, "But you'll miss the big show!" The algorithm is absolutely terrified of losing their attention.
They don't look back. They step out into the sunrise and the heavy doors close behind them. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Healing your brain requires stepping out of the artificial glow and embracing hard, cold, beautiful reality. Bare feet pressing into the cool earth, breathing crisp forest air, pressing together as a family to rebuild real oxytocin, finding your dopamine balance not in cheap glowing lights, but in the physical challenge of a cold river plunge and the raw flow of life itself. They save their souls by choosing the hard reality over the comfortable illusion.
The tribe never destroyed the cube. They just learned to coexist with it, low-key using it only as a tool and refusing to ever step inside without a tether to reality. So, I'm leaving you with this final, uncomfortable truth. Look at your own life right now. Are you the master of your attention? Or are you just wandering the cube untethered, letting algorithms dictate your emotions, your insecurities, and your desires? Take a hard look at the glowing rectangles surrounding you. Maybe modern comfort isn't actually freedom. Maybe it's just the most comfortable prison ever built. Wake up, grab the tether, and step outside.